welcome back. We are
back.
again. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. So we used to start this episode off by telling episode names, and then what ended up happening was we compiled so many, and then they weren't released at the same time. So we're like, this would fit better then. So yeah, well, technically, I'm gonna do it. This is technically
We're not supposed to do.
Okay, I won't do it then. Never mind. Sorry, guys. That'll be cut out. Yeah. Well,
you just go on your own introduction every time.
Yeah, it's not great.
We should write down introduction.
We probably, but I feel like we want to be unscripted. It's like, it's not great to make a start a conversation because it's hard. Because like our point of this podcast is want it to be like unfiltered. It's like we don't usually just like unfilter our conversation.
It's also it's like you can't just like start talking. Like normally you have to get onto the topic, but that's why I don't do the introductions.
That's why Caitlin refuses. She's like, no, you can do it.
I'm too awkward.
But yeah, I think we're gonna start this podcast off. Oh fuck, it's me again. Podcast off with talking about what's currently going on in our lives.
Yeah, just a little update from last week's episode, I guess. Basically, nothing has changed. We are in the exact same position. We still do not officially have a housemate, though things have progressed. References have been sent and are hopefully being reviewed. So hopefully next time we actually will have the podcast. Wait, no.
Next time we film.
Yeah, next time we film the podcast, we will have a roommate. Work is still kind of stressful with stuff going on. Personal life is still kind of stressful with stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're in the same position, but we're in a better headspace about the shitty position.
Yeah, same constant shit, but almost like, I don't want to say like we're resigned to it, but like we've almost like felt a way to like
accept our fate.
Yeah, we're just accepting it now. We're just kind of like, it is what it is. Life will work out as meant to be. All we can do, like we've done everything we can do our side of things, like professionally, like in the like sort of in our house anyway, and like personally, I would say, like we're all working on steps to continue taking it day by day. It's like we talked about last week. It's like all you can do is look at it as a day by day thing. Because I think when you look at the bigger picture, that's what then freaks you out a little bit more. Because you're like, God, what's going to happen? Say at the end of the month, are we going to have to like move out? And then you spiral into something like so much more serious when it's like, you know what? There is nothing we can do right now. We have sent people off who are going to potentially move into the 2 bedrooms. Now what we've got to do is wait until everything is sorted. You know what I mean? Like all we can do now is wait for, there was just, so one girl's reference things weren't like going through properly, and that was over the weekend. So it was kind of stressful because obviously the landlord isn't working. So landlord agent isn't working the weekend. So it's kind of like, we don't know how to fix this. We have to wait till Monday, and everything kind of gets like pushed back. What we are hoping is by the 1st of November, we're not covering a 4th room rent.
Well, I don't think I can afford that.
No, we will be moving out. This podcast will be done over Zoom. We can't afford this.
I will be homeless.
Yeah. Oh, you can live in Solihull with me.
Okay. No, yeah. I think it's a good kind of, I don't know what the word is, show of the way that stress does come in waves kind of thing, and that it's also not forever. Like sometimes the situation is still the same and you are still stressed or sad or angry or whatever it is. Like the emotion is still there. It's not to say that I'm suddenly super duper happy, you know? I still have those emotions, but it's more just to say that like it doesn't, I don't know, like it's not currently getting to me like it was last week.
Yeah.
And I think that is the thing with time is, you know, sometimes you have to take the step away as much as possible, because obviously I can't just like leave work because work stresses me out. Like, you know, you take your space wherever possible from the thing that is stressing you out.
Yeah. I mean, look at me. I've basically been in avoidant mode this entire week. I was stressed at work, and so my manager, who I can never tell anyone how lovely he is.
Yeah, like, he is so sweet.
He's just genuinely the nicest man and nicest manager I've ever had. So shout out to him.
Yeah. Hope he listens.
I don't think he does. I don't tell him about this.
Oh, okay.
But if he does, if you somehow find it, Pete, favorite man.
This one's for you.
Yeah, favorite man. But he gave me advice, being like, because I was getting, my issue was at work, I was getting bombarded with messages, say like over Slack, which is how we communicate. And what would end up happening is I didn't get to do my like actual jobs and tasks for the day, and it was stressing me out because everything kept getting pushed back. And I had like a long to-do list, and it was really stressing me out. And he mentioned that it's like sometimes it's like anything over Slack probably is just more of a query. Anything that's like ASAP would be emailed over to you. So maybe just switch off your Slack for like, give yourself a designated time, like for 2 hours. I'm going to turn the Slack off. I'm going to put it on pause notifications. I'm just going to do my work. once I'm then ready and I've done my to-do list, I can then go to Slack and answer all these questions.
Yeah.
It was so good. Like, I don't know why I hadn't thought of it before. I think in my mind, I was like, I still feel new, even though I've been at the company for a year now. And I kind of feel like I can't ignore these messages because it's important. If they're slacking me, it means I've missed something and they need to know ASAP. And it's like, you know what? My job isn't life or death. Like, it isn't. If they've slapped me at the very last minute to ask me something and I miss it, they can always slack one of my team members, which is what some of them ended up doing. Embarrassingly being like, I feel like Isla's a bit overwhelmed at the moment, so can you answer? And I was like, stop texting that to my manager. Is overwhelmed. But also, stop telling my manager that. I mean, he knows, but if he didn't know, it'd be a very embarrassing thing. He'd be like, Isla, why am I getting your messages?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of like how I've been dealing with my work stress. Is like, I think it's just always like, it's a time management thing with work sometimes. Like, it's hard, but like, to understand like where you stand and what's actually important. Like, I do wish to everyone everything is important though. I think that's when it becomes the issue, because like, I don't know who I should focus on because everyone
says theirs is the most important. You got to be like, okay, but I've heard 7 this is the most important things since 9 a.m. and it is now 9:30. Like what do you want me to do?
Like, I can't, it's hard to know which to prioritize then. And then I had it to favor with the house stuff. I was in Somerset this weekend. I went for a nice little day trip. My friend's families moved out there from Birmingham, and she was like, come for like a late birthday weekend. And I think I was saying to you, like, train travel always stresses me out, especially when there's like changes and stuff. Like, it's always like a stressful thing. But I think genuinely once I was in the country, I was like,
it's just that little bit of like, also I think sometimes, if possible, like it's not always possible, but if you can, just removing yourself from the environment where the stress is happening can help a lot. And like, you just like physical space, as in you left London because London is stressful. And then that physical space helped. Or like space being, you just turn your phone off for 2 hours and you just like, please stop messaging me. Like, I had it like with planning stuff and like a lot of stuff going on in like my personal life. And then plus people kept asking me questions about stuff. And I was like, look, I'm not going to lie, just stop right now. Like, I can't handle this right now. And like I said to them, I was like, I'm not, like, I don't have the emotional capacity to handle your queries right now. And they were like, yeah, okay, sure. And then stopped messaging me because I was like, it's just a bit much. And I think, there's no harm in doing that, because you do sometimes have to just look out for yourself. Obviously, you can't do that forever. You have to come back to London and like, you can't like just live out in the countryside on a cottage and like never worry about stress again.
Honestly, if I had the money, Caitlin, would I have come back? Would I be like, Caitlin, you should come join me in the countryside?
I would.
We can also never leave.
And then we could both avoid it forever.
Well, we talked about like attachment styles, right? That's been our conversation for the last like week or two. And I'm like, I feel like I'm someone who like likes to talk problems out. And I think I said this last week. But then I realized for the past like 2-3 weeks, I've just been escaping everything. So like maybe I'm actually
an avoidant attachment.
I think I might. Can you be both? I feel like I might be both.
Well, there's like different kinds of. Oh, I could go so deep into this. There's like different. So there's like, I think the main ones are like an avoidant attachment, a secure attachment, and an anxious attachment.
Okay.
But within each of those, there's like subcategories.
Oh, okay.
So you could be like an avoidant, but like a fearful avoidant, which is like kind of an anxious avoidant.
Yeah, like I still need to talk through problems, but my main priority
would be like you at the same time don't want to face up to things.
Yeah.
So you just leave.
Maybe that is me. That makes a lot of sense.
You should be on my TikTok. It's full of it.
I know. I wish my TikTok was just P. Diddy.
Mine's like full of. I got off the P. Diddy one, and I was all down for the fucking conspiracy of Beyonce killing everyone.
Yeah.
And now I'm on like attachment styles and fucking Lord of the Rings. Weirdly enough. And I'm like, why are these my two personalities?
I love that. Is Lord of the Rings like the remix?
A lot of like Legolas thirst traps.
I thought it might be like the remix with Legolas when he's like, I'm taking the hobbits.
Oh yeah, I love that. There was a video of Orlando Bloom doing that video.
Oh, and
they like did it on and I didn't realize. I thought it was just a meme, but he actually did it. Or it was a meme and then he did it.
It was a meme and then he saw it and he was like, that's actually kind of catchy. And the cast made him do it on set, or like the director did. And he was like, they're like, do it. And I was like, why is that me?
No, it's just a lot of Legolas and Aragorn thirst traps. Weirdly,
rightly so though.
I know that was a great film. I'm all there for them. Anyway, you could also watch Lord of the Rings if you're stressed. I feel like they're long movies. If you turned your phone off and watched one Lord of the Rings film, 3.5 hours would probably pass.
And I think if you watched them before, you'd also zone out a little bit. Because I love them. I love Lord of the Rings. I love Star Wars very good long films too. But it's one of those where it's like once you watch it so often, like was it last year when I was sick with the flu and I came out and I was like,
all the Star Wars.
I watched every single Star Wars film that there is out there currently. You were like, when you're ill, and I was like, it was great because when I fell asleep, they were fighting, and then when I woke up, they were fighting. But I've seen them so often that I'm like, oh, just such a comfort that you can. It's like because the thing you can rest them for 2 hours and not think, oh god, it's gonna like turn my laptop off forever because it's still playing. It's a very long film.
It's like I think one of the first times, like I don't know if it was like the first or just I hadn't seen it that many times. Watching the final Lord of the Rings, and that is the longest movie I've ever watched. There's also like 3 main battles in that film.
Yeah,
that could be the end battle.
Yeah,
there's also like so long that fucking Frodo takes to throw the ring away. And I remember watching this and falling asleep, and there was a battle, and Frodo was like crying about something, and waking up, and there was a battle, and Frodo was crying about something, and I was like, this movie is never. I felt like I was in a time warp. I do love it, but that was a long ass film.
It's what I felt about John Wick. So John Wick's, I think this feels very deja vu. I feel like we talked about this before. Anyway, John Wick's is like I don't know. Have you seen the film?
I've never seen them, but I know what they're about.
Yeah. So obviously my wife's dead. I shouldn't be mean about that. But like, dead. Yeah, my dog's dead, and then now like people are trying to kill me. It's like, babes, this is the first like 3 movies. I didn't watch any of them.
Do you think they're making a female one or something like that? I don't know. It's like Anna de Armas is.
Oh.
It's called like Ballerina or something.
Oh, so not really John Wick.
I don't know. I watched a video when she was like, or something, and it was like Anna de Armas is the female John Wick, or she was like, I feel like this is. I don't know. Anyway.
Oh, but yeah, the John Wick films. I find the cinema so sacred, and I would never ever do this. And I have always like mocked relentlessly if my dad has ever done this. Obviously, in his growing age, fair enough, he's a bit older and he will do this. But I fell asleep in John Wick 3. But I kid you not, this is one. They're in a hotel and they're fighting. He's trying to survive. It's like this murder hotel and there's a hair on him. He's going to survive. They're on like floor 3. I'm making this up. But they're on some kind of floor and he's fighting and he's killing. I somehow zone out and I wake up and I think he's on floor 6. But it's the same fight scene just on a different floor that looks exactly the same. And I was like, I missed nothing. And my dad's like, you've been asleep for 30 minutes. And I was like, oh damn.
Sometimes I do love a mindless action film though. Like a lot of killing, a lot of blood, but no storyline. Because like you can just zone out of it. Yeah. It's like a good film to do other stuff too.
Mine's more if I have mindless action, it needs to be like a comedy. Like I rewatched Hot Fuzz because I have to go into this little tiny town in like
is that the one with Simon Pegg?
Yes. Oh yeah. It's like the little tiny town
they're like a cult?
Yes. Yeah. That's in Wedmore. And I was like, oh my god. I'm so glad I didn't watch Hot Fuzz before I went to this town because I'd have been like really freaked out. So I was like, now that I've come back, let's watch Hot Fuzz. That's actually filmed in a town called Wells.
Really?
Yeah. Thought of you when I heard it. I was like, damn, people love this. Teeny tiny.
Wait, is that where you went or just the places there?
No. Where Wedmore is, it's near a place called Wells, which is where it's from. It's apparently the tiniest city in the UK or the tiniest country. City, I'm assuming then. I've said that wrong. Tiniest countryside city is probably what I meant to say. Yes, not tiniest country. It's a tiny little town.
Yeah, interesting.
But yeah, so we watched that and I was like, I can't like that because I think minus violence plus a bit of comedy makes it a bit more entertaining compared to like the John Wick's level of violence. I'm just a bit like,
oh. I feel like I like mindless violence films, but only if the like actors doing it have some sort of emotional range. Like, who's the guy that's like the bald British guy and he's dating the model or married to the model?
Stanley Tucci?
No, that doesn't seem like it's him. And he's in like he's in Fast and Furious movies.
Oh, I know who you mean. I can't picture his name.
And he always plays like the same.
Jason Statham.
Yeah. So he has zero emotional range. And
off coming from Jason there, emotional robot.
But he, like, if you watch any films of him, he'll be like, oh, I'm so sad. Oh, I'm so in love. Oh, let me kill these people. Oh, I
think he gives very gruff. It's like Terminator. Arnold Schwarzenegger is very much like.
Seen
the Terminator? Right? Classic films. We should watch them at some point. But like, it gives very like gruff, manly man that he's like, I can't feel other emotions. Like, when my mum dies, I'm gonna like glare into like the ocean and like have a tear go down and be like, right, who do I need to kill?
Yeah,
kind of vibes.
I guess, but it's just like, I need some sort of emotional bandwidth as well as mindless violence.
I guess Keanu Reeves is good for that though, for John Wick. Like, obviously everything is done with the upset of.
Again, I've never seen them, but I like John Wick and some other stuff. Have you ever seen Point Break?
I don't think so.
It's one of my dad's favorite films. Nice. The original one. Not they've also redone it.
Oh, okay.
It's like they like in the new one they like steal and give back to the people.
Oh, like Robin Hood.
And like, yeah, that they like do all these things and then it's like to give back to the people. But in the old one, they just stole and kept it for themselves, which is kind of cooler.
Which is basically what we're all thinking.
Yeah, no one's stealing and giving to the poor people. That's crazy. Anyway, yeah, that was a little side note. But I guess it shows also like that we are in a happier place.
Yeah, that we managed to like sway off topic. I feel like we really stuck on topic last time and we were like, no, we got to talk about these things, we got to get them out. But yeah, I think all in all, we're doing okay. Yeah, what I would say. I wouldn't say we're like the happiest.
We're not thriving, but we're not dying.
But we're kind of
surviving.
Yeah, but we're hoping that because the start of like spooky season has started off the way it has, it can only get better in these winter months. It's all I am praying for and all I'm hoping for.
And I also think, for me at least, it's more about like accepting the situation we're in and accepting things for as they are and being like, I'm going to control what I can control and what I can't control, you just let it happen.
Yeah.
And so, like focus on doing things that keep you distracted. Like if you get too stressed, go for a walk because that does help. And like you can do things that help with your control, like, I don't know, meditate or something. And like you can find ways to control your stress whilst also accepting that the stress is going to be there.
Yeah.
And then also just take it like one day at a time. Like don't try and be like super happy and super cheery because you have to. And don't try to think too far into the future. Just be like, today, I'm just going to make it through today.
Yeah.
And then when you do, you can be like, damn, I did that.
Yeah. Very true. Sound advice.
Yeah. You should become an inspirational speaker. Moving on, I guess, to, well, kind of along the same path of happier topics. It is my birthday coming up.
Woo!
I am turning 24, which
joining us
seems a good age. I don't know. I like even number ages. Are you like an even or odd number person? I feel like people always prefer one or the other.
I don't know. I do love the number 15 though, and I don't know why.
Oh, that's weird.
I can't explain it. It's not, my 15th year wasn't the greatest of my life. There's something satisfying about the number 15.
I get you. Some numbers are satisfying.
Yeah.
But I'm like such an even numbered person, except the number 5. I feel like 5 counts as an even number in my head.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I think I'm a 5, like 5s, like 5s and 10s. I'm like, I love
like whole numbers.
Yeah.
I guess.
Whole and half numbers, I guess. Not an even number. Yeah. Maybe I am. No.
Like when I go, I don't know if this is like, I don't know, something special in me. But when I like use lockers, I always have to use an even numbered locker. Like there's something about keeping my stuff in like number 17 that freaks me out. Like I always have to go for like I will like look for open even number 1.
When I still went to the gym, and I don't know why I did this, but I found it really enjoyable to have the locker 69. I was like, I think that's just my adolescent brain just having a bit of a laugh at me. So and like, and I go, it's mine. There we go. The end.
Anyway, so my 24th birthday is coming up, and there's been a lot of plans formed and a lot of plans changed.
Yeah.
And kind of, I guess with the way things are at the moment, there's stuff that I am not kind of able to commit to at this point, just because, like I said, taking it a day at a time, and that's kind of far in advance to commit, seeing as I won't know how I feel. Yeah. Like, you know, I feel like sometimes even when I'm not in a stressful situation, I'll like commit to something that's like a month away because it sounds fun. And the day of, I'm like, there's literally nothing I want to do less than attend this event.
I get told I'm flaky because of this, but I'm
I am flaky though.
different personality, but I'm like, I'm not flaky, and it's genuinely, I don't, Laura, I think if you're watching this is the conversation that we've had. But she was like, I think you're really flaky with me. And I was like, no, it's because she, at that time, like she was in Exeter and I was in Birmingham. So then she'd come up, like really obviously planned in advance that she was coming up. And I'd be like, yeah, excited to see you. And it'd like come to the day. And she would just really get me on an off day. It's not her fault. And it wasn't like my fault either. I'm just like, it was one of the days I was like, no, Laura, would you be upset? She'd be like, no, but stop being so flaky. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. That's different if she's traveling all the way to Birmingham.
I know, it was just a bad time because it was always like around Christmas. It'd be like Christmas at home, and then you see.
Wait, so you would be like, don't come anymore the day of?
No. She'd be at home anyway. Oh. And then she'd be like, well, now that I'm home, I'm going to see every single person because I then.
Oh, as in you were at home in Birmingham.
Yeah. So I was home anyway.
I thought you meant like the day that she was meant to travel from Exeter to Liverpool. You'd be like, please don't come anymore.
No, I'm not that much of a flaky person. Yeah, I'm not that much of a flaky person. No,
also, train tickets are fucking expensive.
Yeah, no. She would be driving from Exeter to see her dad, like, for Christmas. And then she'd be like, since I'm home anyway for Christmas, who can I see during this period of time? And then she'd book everyone in. And then it happened, like, the previous 2 times, I think. That was just like, Laura, I'm sorry. I just can't get out of bed today. This is not like a day. But we've been friends since we were like 7. Like, 7 years old. So it's kind of like, you get me.
Some people get it.
Yeah, she's like, I so get you. But then after the second time, she's like, stop being so flaky. And I was like, sorry. Don't mean to.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes I also know that the event is going to be really fun. And once I'm there, I will enjoy myself. But it's like the effort of getting myself into a mood that other people will also enjoy. Like, sometimes I mean, I don't know if no one's ever said this to me, but I feel it about myself that sometimes I'm really not fun to be around because I'm just like bitchy about stuff. And I'm just like things just like, I'm just not enjoying myself. And then I'll spend the entire night being like, why am I being so bitchy? I could just suck it up and have a good time.
Yeah.
But like, I get myself into such this like antisocial like wormhole, and I'm like, I don't want to be here. Then I'm like, stop being so rude to these people. Then I'm like rude to the people, and I'm like, oh no, I just feel worse and I want to leave even more. And then it's just like spirals down from there. So I'm like, in order for that not to happen, the preparation of getting ready for the social event I don't want to go to, it requires so much energy that I'm just like, I can't make it anymore. I'm sorry.
I think it depends on like sort of like your atmosphere. Like I find it easier at uni because you're kind of with everybody who also wanted to go out, and you kind of like you.
Like if you're in the house getting ready with everyone.
Yeah. Whereas like if you're say getting ready for like a single event and then being like, oh, I don't really want to go.
Especially if you're getting ready by yourself.
Yeah, and then you're like, I've got no one to like get ready with, like no one who's like pumping me up in that way. Like, oh, and I've got to go, and I'm like, I'm the only person going to this social event. Like it's nerve wracking anyway. And then you're like, oh, I hope I enjoy myself. I get very socially anxious. So a friend of mine was doing a housewarming party that I went to, and I was like, it'd be nice. And I was like getting the tube there by myself, being like, I hope I make a friend. I hope I find someone to talk to, because obviously I don't know any of these people.
Yeah.
And then like went, and it was okay at first, and then I was lucky because if you manage to find like just one person to talk to that you feel comfortable with, you're then fine for the evening, and then suddenly you open up a bit more. But I've had it also situations where I'm like, I've gone to something and then been like, I'm just gonna sit in the corner or go outside for like a little bit and have some fresh air.
I just don't have it in me to talk to any of these strange people.
Yeah. It's hard.
It is hard sometimes. Like, yeah, I feel like 90% of the time I love a social situation.
Yeah.
But it's like when I'm not loving it, I really hate it. There's no like medium ground where I'm like just kind of enjoying myself, but not really, but I'll just kind of hold it out.
As in like there are some good moments you're like, oh yeah, that was kind of fun, and then it kind of like lulled a bit and you're like,
I'm either like enjoying myself and happy I'm at a place.
Yeah.
Or I'm like, I fucking hate this. I don't know. Maybe it's just kind of like not cutting my losses early kind of thing. Like being like, okay, maybe I should go home now because I'm feeling tired. Like instead I'll just not go home, and then I'll be like, well, now I'm miserable, and now. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to what I was supposed to go to anymore for my birthday, but kind of just, because right now I don't think I'm in the right headspace for it. And I also don't want to put other people down by not being in the right headspace for it, because, other people want to have celebratory times.
Yeah.
And I'm just very much aware of the fact that like I might not be the most celebrationary vibe.
Yeah.
So things changed, but we've still got some fun things planned. Hopefully we can go maybe to like a pumpkin farm.
Yes, gonna go to do some pumpkin picking.
Yeah, do some pumpkin carving or painting, whichever's easier. Probably painting.
Feel like painting, feel like a bit of a mess to carve a pumpkin. Yeah, I know you really want a pumpkin pie. Some of it like should be just carve the pumpkin anyway and then paint it. But
this kind of sounds so stupid, but it's kind of maybe fair. I once made pumpkin pie for a dinner I had at uni with butternut, because I just always thought pumpkin pie was made with butternut, not pumpkin. And then I told my mom, and she was like, why would you do that? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Isn't that how you make it? And she was like, no, I make it with pumpkin. But I was like, I've never seen you buy a pumpkin. We always have butternut at home. So I just assumed you'd use that. And then she was just like, what a weird thing to assume, because it's called pumpkin pie. Anyway, that's how I figured out that pumpkin pie was actually made of pumpkin and not butternut.
Ah. Did it taste nice with the butternut though that you made it with?
I'm not a very good baking person. And I think it was okay. It didn't really set. I don't know if you ever had pumpkin pie, but it's like kind of maybe like a cheesecakey consistency in a way.
Okay, yeah.
So it needs to set.
Yeah.
Or bake, whatever. But it has that like smooth. I don't even know how to explain this.
I kind of get what you mean. Yeah, because I've done
like a baked cheesecake, not a fridge cheesecake.
Oh, I've only ever done fridge cheesecake. But I kind of get what you mean, only because I've seen it. It's like a tart, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So it's got like the crust and then the insides.
Yeah.
And when I made it, it was very gooey, so it kind of melted. All my friends said they liked it, which was very kind of them because I think they could tell I was stressed. Also, it took so long because I don't know why I didn't, but you can buy like chopped up butternut.
Yeah.
Or a whole butternut. And I bought a whole butternut. And peeling and chopping up whole butternut when you have really bad knives is so fucking hard.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I really regretted it during the process of making it. But we were doing like an Easter, I don't even know what it was for. We were doing some sort of dinner and I made a pumpkin pie, but it was made with butternut. And then
I would say I don't think about it baking. I think you get impatient, and baking is a lot of like patience, but like when the oven.
Like measuring things, I just can't be asked. Like I'd rather just pour it in or whatever. Yeah. And then
you're a cook though. You have that like cook flair of being like, I just add this and be done. Whereas like a baking, it's like you have to follow a recipe.
So like specific, yeah. But I do like pumpkin pie. It's very yummy. But I also do think actually carving a pumpkin is a lot of effort, and we don't have that many knives.
I don't think we've got anything pumpkin that could probably pierce through a pumpkin. Our knives need chopping.
I want to get one of those little baby ones.
Oh, we've got mascara baby pumpkin. Can you imagine?
No, to paint it.
No, but you imagine we decided like, no, we're going to make pumpkin pie out of this. Like, I feel so bad. No. Big old boy, but more of you to eat. Woohoo!
Yeah. So that would be fun. Doing bottomless brunch as well, which is always exciting. I feel like bottomless brunch is just so messy though.
I mean, from my experiences with bottomless brunch, I would say the trick is probably don't drink all day. If you're going to go...
You just have to if you start.
I just feel like if you're going out, you should come back and have a bit of a breather.
Or like the problem is people fall asleep then.
I guess it depends how hard you go at brunch. You're kind of like, a good level of tipsy. And then you say go for a walk or go sit in the house and like have a few more glasses, but like put some music on and like
chill out a little bit.
Yeah, almost like a little prees, and then you go out again.
Yeah.
I think that could potentially work. I don't know. I've had all right times on my last 2 bottomless brunches. They've been
I feel like the problem is like if you start drinking, like the thing is if you're going to start drinking early in the day, if you want to make it out at night, you genuinely have to continue.
Isn't it like a pace yourself thing? Because if you continue too hard, you'll then like pass out.
Obviously. Like you have to, like you can't just like chug it. That's why you have to drink like slow. If you're gonna drink all day, it's like kind of slow burn drinking.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like if you were to come back, people would fade, and then it's like you won't make it out. So you kind of have to force yourself to stay at that. Like I think it's like pacing yourself, but you have to maintain that level.
Yeah.
Because if you go too much over the level, like you'll probably like throw up and have to go home. But if you like start dipping under the level, you'll get sleepy.
Yeah.
So you literally have to just like whatever level you start on, you just have to maintain.
Okay.
For the extended period of time that you are planning to be out of the house. Which is why bottomless brunch gets so messy because like like the last one I went to was like I think we'd start at like 11 a.m. Which is way, way too early in the day to be like shit-faced drunk. And then we went bowling at a kid's bowling place and we drank so much more. And there was just, like this poor children. We were like breaking glass. Like, I don't know how they didn't kick us out.
No.
And then we went to TGI Fridays. Yeah. I think it's the only time I've ever been inside a TGI Fridays. And I could not tell you a single thing about that place. I was so blurred. And all I remember is the poor waitress coming. We ordered, I don't even know who ordered food. But food arrived and the waitress like passed this plate of chips and chicken nuggets. And one of the guys that was at the bottomless brunch like went to reach for it and then just dropped it and the plate shattered and the food went everywhere. I think 2 or 3 of the people, there were 6 of us there. Yeah. 3 of the people threw up all over the bathroom, all over the disabled bathroom, men's bathroom and women's bathroom.
Oh no. And
then eventually like I was just like, we're all way too drunk to be here. So I just paid whatever the amount was and we just left.
Yeah.
And I was like, we just have to go.
Yeah.
And it was very, very messy. But it was really fun.
Did you look back fondly?
Yeah. I mean, from what I can like, it's one of the like blur, there's like, well, I guess you wouldn't know.
No.
But the like super, super blurry memory when you like, you remember like bits and pieces, but you can't like exactly place it all together as to what happened.
Oh.
It's weird.
I think I have that more of like a deja vu thing of like years ago, because obviously I don't think my memory's the best anyway.
Yeah, then, like, maybe like, when you're like a child.
Yeah, I'm like trying to remember like, I think I remember feelings of enjoying that, so I think I do like it. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of, is it the same thing of like, obviously you're missing a few pieces, but like I think the overall vibe was fun.
Yeah. So we'll see if it turns in. I mean, I'm not intending to get as drunk this time, because I feel as though I'm in a place in my life where if I do get too drunk, it'll be very messy.
Yeah.
And I don't really want that. Like, I want to have a good time. I don't want to be like crying or angry or whatever. Like, I don't want negative drunk.
Yeah.
I want like happy, fun drunk.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I, it's all about balance.
I guess it's also like knowing which drinks keep you happy though as well.
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard from friends like certain drinks make people feel certain things.
Yeah, like my one friend, when he drinks gin, he's a whole different person. I've had some outrageous sometimes I think he forgets that I'm a woman, and he says stuff to me and I'm like, my God, you should not be telling me these things. And he's like, just drank gin. And I'm like, yeah, okay, go find a man to tell your thoughts to, because that is not a thing I want to be hearing right now.
Wow.
Yeah. I also think that that's such a placebo thing though, is it's like one time you'll have a bad reaction or a whatever reaction, and then someone will be like, oh my God, last night like you got so mad and you were like trying to fight people, and then they'll be like, oh, what did I drink last night? And then they'd be like, oh, you drank vodka, and you'd be like, oh my God, vodka makes me so mad. And then you like tell yourself that enough that the next time you drink vodka you'd get mad again, because you've like convinced yourself that vodka makes you mad, even though it probably doesn't.
I get that placebo effect. Quite glad I don't drink. I don't think if I turn around and been like, in the mocktail, maybe the sugar. The sugar. It got to me. Sugar. Yeah, there was a cordial juice that was in there. Yeah. God knows what that did to me, but I was a raging bitch. And it's like, I don't think that works. I think it's the same thing. Like, I mean, you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. But yeah, I can't remember what the start of my story was.
We got exciting plans coming up. Obviously, with your birthday coming up, we've got a bunch of things going on. So. Bottomless brunch first. Your brother's coming.
That's exciting. He's coming back up. Been at uni. He would have been there for like a month. So it'll be nice to hear what his first impression of university is. Yeah.
And then next week you've got something that's with like all of us, with like some work friends too, and just like
something like low key, not anything too crazy. Yeah. Which will be nice.
I would say I always find it hard, and I think we've discussed this. I think I discussed it around mine. Sometimes it's like stressful almost to bring friends together sometimes. Like I know, and I love all my friends, and I know that like they can be proper chatty, and I'm like, I don't know why I stress so much about like when friends come together, but I think mine's always like the worry, because I'm such like a planner that I worry that no one's going to enjoy themselves, because everyone's like, oh, we've got to socialize with people we don't know, and I'm like, I just want everyone to have a good time and make sure everyone has a buddy and everyone's having a good time. And then I think you do forget to almost like enjoy yourself. Like in the moments, I think when it's actually happening, I'm suddenly like, it is what it is and life's fine. Yeah. But I think the build up to it is like, you take it almost, it lessens the enjoyment of anything. So you're like, I'm so stressed that no one's going to have fun. And then it's like, but once you're in it, you're kind of like, I can't stress about it right now because I've got to be stressed about other things. Like, how am I going to set up like the rounders pitch and like all this kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah. I do think like, I don't plan many events, but like when I do, that is something that I get so worked up about. And I don't know why, because it's not like I have also high maintenance friends in any way or form. Mm-hmm. Like all of them are very go with the flow, chilled out, they'll have fun anyway kind of people. So I don't know what it is that I get worked up about, like whether or not people are having fun. But I do, it is something that I'm like, especially if it's like people that don't know each other. And if there's like say there's like 90% of the people do know each other. And then there's like the 10% that don't know anyone, like they don't even know each other. Yeah. So it's like you've got like, say you have like a group of 10 people and like 6 of them are really good friends, and then you have like 3 friends that you're friends with but they're not friends with each other. Yeah. And that's what I worry about, because I'm like, who are they going to talk to? Yeah. Because like especially if they are on like the quieter side of people. Yeah. And like sometimes, especially now after uni, with like people not having seen each other as much or talked as much, it becomes more like a catch up with the people you do know. Yeah. So then it's like, this like worry of the people that don't know anyone to be like, oh my God, but they can't catch up. And I'm also, I get like so like aware that also then a lot of the stories become reminiscing stories of like uni, and I'm like, these people don't know the inside jokes of all these stories.
Yeah.
Like I get like worked up about that stuff. So I'm like, they're probably hating this because they don't get the story.
Yeah.
You know?
It is hard. I mean, I think for mine, like I made sure everyone kind of had a buddy. Like our house, we all knew each other, so that was fine. My uni friends all knew each other, so that was fine. I mean, you guys kind of also knew my other friend Kate, because obviously she'd been staying here for like a few days too. Like everyone had met. Karis was probably the only one who didn't have a buddy.
But we'd all met her.
That's the thing. And she also had met all my uni friends. So like if there's anyone who's going to be a good who's like also, can talk to
she
both.
Talks a lot. As in like it's not like she's like shy.
Yeah, so she's quite she's quite a confident person anyway. So I'm kind of like it kind of worked out because like everyone kind of knows it. I mean, minus George's friend Jamie who didn't, but then because I paired him up with like in like Karis' team and with George, it was kind of like
also he knew George and Bill.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's kind of like I put him with someone he knew, but also with someone he didn't know. And Karis knew George but didn't know Jamie, and then it kind of was almost like, oh, you also kind of really don't know anyone. Like,
you're also an outsider.
Yeah, so then it kind of like it helps like bring groups together. I mean, ultimately it was still like when we sat for the picnic. It was like house lot and then uni lot.
Yeah.
But I do think that's, like you said, it's inevitable because people then group together to reminisce. When it comes to actually doing something, you all join together and have a bit of fun.
But also then like afterwards, I guess, we went out for like dinner and then it was more just like chat to whoever you ended up being sat next to.
Yeah.
So, but I do think, when we were like, but that's also like okay.
Yeah.
I think it's more just like if you're aware of, like one person not knowing anyone and you're like, okay, I must talk to this person.
Yeah.
It
is hard hosting anything, I would say.
Yeah.
Because then you not only have the pressure of being like you said, it's like you want to make sure everyone is comfortable and you're not like, because obviously we all know like everyone's got different friends. Like I know I can be quite socially anxious, and I'm a bit like, okay, either I'll have a really good night and I can like be really chatty. Because I think the misconception is, and my friends might disagree with me, but I'm like, I am a very shy, quiet person. And I know it doesn't seem like that, the way I fucking yap on this.
Started a podcast.
Yeah, I know.
You're so shy.
I'm just a girl. No, but like as a genuine like rule of thumb, I think with most strangers I can be quite shy. But it's like whereas like if it's a one-on-one scenario, or like I think the difference is we're living together. Same with my friends, like we live together, so it's easier to talk to them. Because almost like you have to be like I was honestly like you kind of have to be comfortable with me because I'm not going to change who I am, so I have to be as chatty as I am now.
Together, so.
Yeah, so you kind of get to like speed course your way through a friendship with me, whereas like I think with actual strangers I'm a bit like, I mean, remember me with your uni friends that like, so they all came for Kate's birthday when we first, it was like what, like 2 weeks after we'd moved in.
It was like really early on.
Yeah, and then Kate was like, I'm doing we're going to do just like local Weatherspoons, we're just going to watch the South African game, and I was like, okay. Then I got there and I saw like Kate's gigantic group of friends, and I was like, no, thank you. And then luckily for me, because obviously we had the house and they didn't know anyone either.
Yeah.
Ella probably being the chattiest one, like went in and spoke to people, and then George was kind of like me, being like, should we just go sit in that booth over there and we'll just like talk?
Yeah,
and I was
just
like,
wait.
Yes. And then when the group got like everything a bit quieter, then I was like, okay, I can now attempt to talk to people. And it was fine. Your friends are really lovely. I think it's just the size of a group sometimes can be quite intimidating to be like, what angle do I like approach this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's the same as like me in terms of like, I don't know. I don't think I'm a shy person, but I don't like a lot of attention on me at once kind of thing, which is why like in big groups, like I struggle talking to a big group of people I don't know.
Yeah.
Just because I'm like, I don't want like 10 strange people's attention on me at once.
Yeah.
But like I would happily talk to one person at a time. And then as soon as I feel comfortable enough with each person, I'm happy to talk to the group. Yeah. But like, it's not like I'm shy to talk to the one person. It's just like, I don't want to like enter a group and be like, hey, I'm Caitlin.
Yeah.
Whereas like some people can do that.
I know. I wish I had that talent.
Yeah.
Just to walk in and be like, I'm just be my confident self. And I was like, no, I'm like an onion. You gotta peel those layers back.
You gotta get into the nitty gritties of me to be my friend.
Maybe a few tears along the way, but like it is what it is. But that's us currently. I guess what's currently happening, in the sort of short-term future, what we've got going on. We thought it'd be best this episode to kind of keep you up to date with just our current events, you know, like a news source, like once a week.
Yeah, current affairs in our lives. Hopefully next week we will have more positive news to give you guys.
The theme could be just as the weeks go on, we just get more positive and life gets better and better, which everyone hopes for.
Which we really hope, But I guess, it's kind of just a reminder that things do get better with time. And also sometimes you feel really good and then you feel really bad again and you're like, oh no, I'm going backwards. But you're not. That's how you deal with stress and emotions. And that's also okay. And I think, like this week, for myself at least, even though we're in the same position we were in last week and there's still a lot going on that is stressful for both of us, we are a lot more positive about it.
Yeah.
And I think that also, it shows like we were even saying last week, wallow in it, let yourself feel it, but you can't wallow forever.
Yeah.
And then you kind of just got to go out there and look after yourself, distract yourself, keep yourself busy. And then eventually it won't be as stressful, I guess.
Eventually it will work itself out. However it's meant to work itself out will work itself out whenever it's meant to be.
Yeah. So hopefully next week we've got more positive news. But for that tonight, that's it from us.
Yes. Well, bye guys.
Bye.